Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Rise Up Late Night, where we talk sports on the late night. I got Rocco Rakelli and Dalton Smith. Obviously, you can't see their cameras, but nevertheless, they here in the flesh. Uh, we want to first and foremost say thank you for supporting always, as usual. And this is gonna be a little. This is gonna be some fun. It's gonna be some fun. All right. So, again, I'm gonna put my question of the day up first and foremost, right off the jump. And the question of the day, obviously, is what team is the best fit to acquire Ben Simmons? And we're going to talk some NBA draft and NBA topics as well. So, like and share, get ready for this joint because it's going to be a whole lot of fun. All right. So, I'll leave this here for you guys right here. The question of the day. You can answer in the comment section if you on YouTube, answer in the comment section if you on Facebook. You can answer in the comment section as well. But Rocco Rakelli, I know it's some trades you want to talk about first before we talk about the NBA draft. So go ahead and drop that.
Of course. I mean, well, first off, thanks for having me on. But secondly, I understand your question is what team is the best fit to acquire Ben Simmons? And well, it's tough because on one hand, I feel like Philadelphia is screwing over this entire situation because they want too much for Ben Simmons. I saw what Golden State wanted, and that was good enough on its own, and they still said no. So with Philadelphia, I believe they're pretty much doing one of two things. One, wanting a deal that is so absurd that pretty much it's a robbery. It's a runaway train, okay? They pretty much are robbing whoever gets Ben Simmons. Or two, they really don't want to trade him, and they're pretty much putting this ridiculous offer out there because they do not want him to get traded. I'm leaning more towards the second part. I believe Philadelphia really doesn't want to trade Ben Simmons. So they're forcing a team to make such a ridiculous offer that they couldn't turn it down. And with NBA trades, we saw Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook getting traded to LA, chemistry-wise, I have question marks. We know Russell Westbrook is talented. We know Russell Westbrook is a great player. And we know Russell Westbrook could play alongside AD and LeBron if his ego and his pride is moved to the side. Russell Westbrook has had ego concerns in the past. He has butted heads with people in his past. So I just wonder if Russell Westbrook returning home to LA, could he put his ego to the side, be a team player, and do what is best for business? And that's pretty much all I got.
Interesting. All right. Interesting thoughts. Dalton, what's your thoughts on Ben Simmons?
Well, I agree with what Rocco said, though. That's all I got to say.
Okay. I'm gonna be very honest with you. The whole Ben Simmons thing, I think, is a farce. I think it's a joke. Um, I don't know if the 76ers understand that they're the one who have to leverage to get rid of Ben Simmons, not the other way around. Like the things they're asking for, like 4 number 1 first round picks, 4 first round picks for Ben Simmons is absolutely absurd. I think that's crazy. For a guy who has a limited game, he's pretty good as far as defense is concerned. He's pretty good on the passing, probably one of the best passers at the point guard position in the league. He's a big body guy, but he can't shoot. He can't shoot, and this is a scorer's league. Like he can't shoot. He can't shoot the three. His mid range is suspect. I mean, what do you want for this guy? Like
I'll say this about Philadelphia. If they had done a Kristaps Porzingis for Ben Simmons trade, or maybe 1 or 2 draft picks comes alongside that deal, I would get it. If it was similar to the Giannis Valanciunas and Steven Adams deal, where you had about 3 legit players being swapped for each other, Valanciunas had a draft pick included, Adams had 2 draft picks included. If Dallas and Philadelphia had done a similar deal to what Valanciunas and Adams had done earlier this week, it would make sense. Unfortunately, Philadelphia is not making those deals. So I will say if Philadelphia acquired Kristaps Porzingis and maybe 2 first-round picks, and in return Ben Simmons goes to Dallas alongside a first-round pick, or maybe just 2 second-round picks like what happened to Russell Westbrook, I would get it. But unfortunately, Andre, we both know Philadelphia doesn't want to trade him, so they're going to make it as ridiculous as possible.
Yeah, I can see the sabotage again. I just don't understand what the 76ers are trying to do. Like, you're trying to get the absolute, like, most ridiculous trade value for Ben Simmons, or you're keeping him, which tells me you really, like Rocco said, you really don't want to trade him, but you want to see, like, you want to get rid of, it's like you want to get rid of her, but you don't want to get rid of her.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, it's understandable. I get that completely. Yeah.
Like, that's a tough situation. And again, like I said, he's limited. The guy is limited. His basketball game is limited. We've said for many years now that Ben Simmons needs to go elevate his game, but Ben Simmons gives you the same thing year in and year out. So, again, speaking on what team is best fit for Ben Simmons, to me, it's got to be a team that does not need scoring as much from the point guard position. It's got to be a team like that. And I don't know how many teams really don't need scoring at the point guard position when this is a scorer's league again. I mean, if I had to throw a team out there, roughly, I mean, a lot of the point guards / combo guards in the league are high usage guys. Like, I couldn't even say Dallas makes sense because, again, you got Luka Doncic over there, high volume guy. So in Portland, even though Dame Lillard may be leaving, you got a high volume guy in Dame Lillard. Now, if Dame Lillard leaves, do you want Ben Simmons? Is that the type of guy you want? I mean, CJ McCollum is the shooting guard. I mean, how do you feel about that? Chicago Bulls. Josh said the Chicago Bulls might be somebody interesting, but does he want to go? Does he want to leave a contending basketball team to like go to a team that's not even contending at all? By the way, I don't think that the Bulls had a first round pick tonight either, did they? Nope.
No, they did. They traded in the Vucevic trade.
Right, they traded that pick for Vucevic. So, I mean, that's interesting because then we get into like NBA needs and things of that nature. Like, what team really actually needs a guy like that? So,
I can give you one, but unfortunately, it wouldn't happen. New York, the Knickerbockers.
Okay.
They do need someone to team up with Julius Randle.
Okay. Young core. The Knicks are a young core. They got Julius Randle. They have my guy from
RJ Barrett.
Yes, RJ Barrett. Thank you. RJ Barrett. A guy who can produce. They have Derrick Rose over there coming off the bench. To me, to be very honest with you, I think that the Knicks might be able to benefit off of that because they do need shooting, they do need playmaking. I mean, coming off of a season where they were the fourth seed in the Eastern Conference. You know, they've got players that's in the late teens and early 20s. Would Ben Simmons be able to like help that team progress? I mean, the Knicks were like the eighth worst offense in the league last year. For folks who don't know.
Interesting.
Is that the team you want Ben Simmons to go to? I mean, they need help offensively.
So look. Josh brought the Chicago Bulls. He brought the New York Knicks. I said the Dallas Mavericks if you would have done a Kristaps for Simmons deal, but they will not do that. So, how about this? Ben Simmons, if he doesn't get traded, Joel Embiid will stay there. Would Philadelphia try to go after Chris Paul? Would Philadelphia try to add someone else into a backcourt and have Embiid, Paul, and Simmons?
Chris Paul as a point guard to come to Philly with a point guard already who can't score, I don't see that working. I could only see that working if you put pieces around maybe Chris Paul and Embiid alone. But to have Ben Simmons in the mix, where does Ben Simmons fit? I mean, Chris Paul is ball heavy. Ben Simmons is point guard who's known for his playmaking ability, not scoring. So where does he fit? You know,
well,
that's a question. That's a question I ask.
Yeah, Philadelphia's put him in a bad spot. That's the problem.
I mean, if you really think about it, right? The 76ers really need, and by the way, they need shooting and playmaking ability. Like they need that themselves. You know what I mean?
Yes, they do.
They need that themselves. So, I mean, again, they had the 28th pick tonight, by the way. Who did the 76ers? By the way, we will get into the first round picks in the NBA 2021 draft shortly. We will get into those picks. But I'm just wondering, who did they pick tonight? Who was the Sixers pick? Let's see real quick.
The 76ers, they took Jaden Springer from Tennessee. Yeah, I know.
Okay, they took Jalen Springer. All right. Yeah, they took Jalen Springer. I mean, that's gonna be it. He's gonna be a guy who's used for depth. He'll be off the bench. I don't see him as a starter right off in the starting lineup. I see a guy who comes off the bench for depth. Now, again, we worry about Ben Simmons. Is he going to get traded? Things of that nature. First round. Before we get into the next topic, which is obviously the one that everybody's talking about in Russell Westbrook and the Lakers.
Yeah, LA Lakers. Yep.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I mean, hey, LA Lakers, been interesting to see what will happen with that trio next year.
All right, so good move, bad move by the Lakers. Good move, bad move. A lot of people right now are a little on the fence. Uh, LeBron James just came out with the remake of his first album called "The Future Is Now." Sacrifice everything for now. Um, I mean, I kind of seen this. Well, you know what? Years ago, we had the conversation, and I remember myself, Mookie Hawkins, and others had the conversation about Russell Westbrook coming to LA, just for the simple fact that he went to UCLA in college. LA is his hometown. LA is a very intriguing spot to be in. This helps Frank Vogel not have to coach as much again. Yeah, I'm on him because I really don't think he's a great coach at all. But again, this gives you somebody where now LeBron James can be off ball again. Obviously, LeBron James is a point four who can play the 3, the 4, the 2, the 1. But Russell Westbrook gives you that point guard dynamic, being the triple-double king as a playmaker, someone who can distribute the ball, someone who can also score, someone who can help LeBron James at his age get off the floor, and maybe him and AD can run offense so that his team doesn't, scurry away games when LeBron James isn't on the floor. Because I think that was part of the issue last year is when LeBron James came off the floor or when AD came off the floor. Either way, you had some issues with scoring. Dennis Schroeder wasn't consistent. KCP was just dumpster juice. He was trash. Good God, he was garbage. And which is the reason why they've traded him off, and including Kyle Kuzma. Montrezl Harrell, I don't know if I like that Montrezl Harrell got traded in this whole, debacle as far as the trading the 22nd overall pick. And those 3 guys, Montrezl Harrell, I call him Cisco, Kyle Kuzma, straight Dookie, and KCP. But hey, it happened, right? And they got who they wanted in Russell Westbrook. So we'll see. Here's my other question for everybody watching too. Is this the greatest trio we will ever see?
I mean, the greatest?
Is this the greatest trio we will ever see?
I'm going to say no, because in terms of Hall of Famers, in terms of championships, in terms of accomplishments, I'm going to go old school. I'm going to say Bill Russell, John Havlicek, and Sam Jones. I mean, they won how many championships with the Boston Celtics? 9 championships, 10 championships. So when you want to talk about great, I believe those guys are very underrated. Of course, you got Jordan, you got Pippen, you got Rodman. A lot of people tend to forget about that trio for some reason. You had KG, you had Ray Allen, you had Paul Pierce for a bit. So until they play on the court, I can't say greatest because we've seen great trios in the NBA.
Right. And there's been
Here's
some
my
great
answer.
trios. Yeah, go ahead, Dalton.
Here's my answer. No.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Put some of the great trios in the comment section. Everybody that's tuned in, put some of the great trios that you know in the comment section. And is this the best trio right now in the NBA currently? We asked as far as history is concerned, but is this the best trio ever? Like, is this the best trio right now, currently in the NBA?
I'm also say no because Kevin Durant has won multiple championships. James Harden has MVPs. Kevin Durant has MVPs. Kyrie is one of the best in terms of handles. So I'm gonna say no. I think Brooklyn has it.
Okay, so Brooklyn. So Brooklyn would beat the Lakers in a 7-game series.
Yes, and even odds makers in Vegas would back that up. If you don't know, Brooklyn is the odds-on favorite to win the championship. LA is second.
Okay, so it's Brooklyn and then LA right now. Currently. All right, interesting enough. Emmanuel Radford, what's up, man? We're talking NBA right now. We want us a couple of trades or trades that haven't even happened yet. So in the beginning of the show, one of the questions was about Ben Simmons. What's the best fit? Who is best fit to acquire Ben Simmons? And then we talking about Russell Westbrook and the Lakers move. Some people are on the fence about it. Some people are like, well, LeBron James is supposed to be the GOAT. Why you keep grabbing all these folks? And then, his remake album, like I said, The Future Is Now, is out right now in stores again. Russell Westbrook and them done copped the album already, or done recorded it on iTunes. Yeah, interesting enough. So, I don't think they're the greatest duo, obviously. I think Brooklyn still has the greatest duo right now in the NBA currently. Are they the greatest duo ever in history? No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. And like Rocco said, you could go old school. You can go back to Bill Russell in his days, or you can go with the Magics, the Worthies, the Magic Worthies and Kareems. You can go back there. I think this trio is better than the Miami trio, though. I do think that. Now, will they win championships? Obviously, that's going to be yet to be seen. I don't know. If Russell Westbrook can't win a championship with LeBron James and AD, then I don't know when Russell Westbrook gonna ever win a championship. Okay. All right.
Well, I think you
forward,
just answered. I think you answered your question.
I did, right? I answered it.
Yeah, because
I answered my own question.
Yeah, I think Russell Westbrook doesn't care about championships at this point. He cares about triple doubles. He cares about his rebounds, his assists, his points. That's what he cares about. I mean, it's pretty simple.
Wow. All right. With that being said, we're going to get into another topic. Obviously, the NBA 2021 draft. So the Detroit Pistons, we already know, drafted Cade Cunningham at number 1 overall. The Rockets drafted Jalen Green. The Cavaliers drafted Evan Mobley. At number 4, the pick that some people were shocked by, which was Scotty Barnes, was drafted by the Raptors. At number 4, a lot of mocks had Jalen Suggs going to the Raptors, but yet and still, Jalen Suggs went to the Magic at number 5. Number 6 was Josh Giddey with the Thunder. Number 7, Rocco, you remember who number 7 was?
The Warriors took Jonathan Kuminga.
Yep. Jonathan Kuminga at number 7. And then the Magic took Michigan's big man, Franz Wagner, who I think may have some upside to him. He very well may have some upside. Rocco, how do you feel about Franz Wagner?
Wagner is going to be solid. I just feel like the Magic doubling down on guys who are guards and guys who are running the middle. I don't know. I mean, you trade Vucevic, Jonathan Isaac can't stay healthy. Markelle Fultz can't stay healthy. Mo Bamba has been really underwhelming. I'm just surprised they didn't get at least, a center or a power forward. So I'm just surprised Orlando didn't do that.
Yeah, so Orlando obviously with the 5th pick got Jalen Suggs, point guard, and then a big man in Franz Wagner. I think Franz has the look of a Nick Collison. I don't know if you guys remember Nick Collison, but he reminds me of Nick Collison in his game. Number 9, the Sacramento Kings, Devonta Mitchell. He was moving up the draft boards. He was actually projected to be the 14th overall pick to the Warriors, and Sacramento got him at number 9. Josh, that's good. That's what's up. You do remember Nick Collison. Yeah, Nick Collison was an interesting role player. Then the Pelicans drafted Zaire Williams, who officially got traded to the Memphis Grizzlies. All right, so Grizzlies was making moves. My question is, do you think Zion will stay a Pelican for the next couple years, or does Zion look for a way out now?
Zion will do what every New Orleans legend has done in his career. Chris Paul ended up leaving. Anthony Davis ended up leaving. Baron Davis ended up leaving. If you are in New Orleans, it is a team you are on to get from team A to team B. Understand that New Orleans is very similar to the Clippers. It is not a long-term solution. It's not your preferred destination. You go to the Clippers so that you can get an opportunity to go someplace else. You go to the Pelicans so you get an opportunity to go someplace else. It's similar to baseball. There's a reason why so many people go from the Seattle Mariners to someplace else, or the Texas Rangers someplace else. It's a launch pad. It's a leapfrog from an average team to a great team. So no, Zion Williamson, I would be genuinely shocked if by 2025 he's still in New Orleans. I would be surprised.
All right. With the number, I'm sorry, Dalton.
Yeah, what up?
How do you feel about Zion staying with the Pelicans? Do you see him staying or leaving?
I see him leaving, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I see him leaving myself. Actually, to be honest with you, he's gonna want to be in the playoff. I mean, he's come close to the playoffs once. Um, but at the same token, he's gonna want to play for a team that's gonna be built around him. That's gonna give him some players that's gonna get him to the next level. And I don't know if he's gonna get that. I don't know if he's gonna get that. With New Orleans. So I would have to say that he probably will leave. Speaking of the Pelicans, we talk about the Hornets, who used to be in New Orleans as well. The 11th overall pick, Rocco, you remember who the 11th overall pick was?
Yes, James Bouknight from UConn.
James Bouknight from UConn was the 11th overall pick tonight. Number 12, the Spurs drafted Joshua Primo. The Pacers drafted Chris Duarte. Warriors drafted Moses Moody. What'd you say, Rocco?
I was saying like Chris Duarte. I saw him here in the Pac-12 in Oregon. He's going to be a stud in Indiana. Got a lot of potential.
Right. Warriors drafted Corey Kispert. The Thunder had the 16 overall pick, traded it to the Rockets. Rocco, you remember who that pick was, right?
Alperen Sugan. Yeah. The center from Turkey.
Yeah. From Turkey. Yep. The Grizzlies drafted Trey Murphy and then officially traded it to the Pelicans. The Thunder was in this first round heavy. They drafted Trey Mann. The Knicks drafted Kai Jones and then reportedly traded to the Hornets as the Atlanta Hawks got Jalen Johnson. And then the Knicks drafted Keon Johnson and reportedly traded that to the Clippers. All right. The Lakers obviously got the 22nd overall pick from the Wizards, drafted Isaiah Jackson, and then officially traded that to the Pacers via the Wizard. Like, what? A lot of trades going on here. The Rockets got the 23rd and 24th pick back to back. They got Usman Garbra and then got Josh Christopher with the 24th pick. Your Clippers, Rocco, your Clippers, Quentin Grimes, but then reportedly traded that to the Knicks.
Yes,
a lot of trades in the first round. A lot of trades in the first round. My question to you is, how do you feel about the Clippers moving forward?
Well, Clippers organization, once they lose Kawhi Leonard, dominoes are going to fall. So, I don't know. I mean, Paul George, he will still be face of the franchise. I hope they keep him, but hey, Keon Johnson to add like Clippers. And hopefully the Clippers organization doesn't lose 8 players this offseason because one player decides to leave. So
all right. With the 26th overall, they got Nashawn Highland. The Nuggets got Nashawn Highland. The Nets drafted Cameron Thomas. The 76ers drafted Jalen Springer. The Suns drafted Day'Ron Sharpe and then reportedly traded to the Nets. The Jazz. Rocco, do you know anything about this pick the Jazz got at number 30?
Yeah, Santi Aldama. Yeah, he came over from Loyola. Yeah, I know exactly who that is. Yeah. I will say, Andre, like, let me ask you, who are two players that really you think will be stars from this draft? Like two players that are on your radar right now.
I'm definitely looking at Jalen Suggs for sure. I'm looking at Jalen Suggs to see what he's going to do. I mean, either team, Toronto or Orlando, he's going to be able to do some things. I think he could potentially be a starter. Obviously, he wouldn't be a starter in Toronto, which tells me Kyle Lowry's probably staying in Toronto as well, because they didn't pick up Jalen Suggs and they picked up Scotty Barnes instead. And then I'm looking to see who Minnesota picked up tonight. Who did Minnesota pick up?
Minnesota picked up nobody. They had no picks.
They had no picks. Oh my goodness. Well, that doesn't help. That doesn't help Ant-Man and them at all, not having any picks.
Pathetic.
That doesn't help.
So
I will say this too. I'm looking at Devon Mitchell too. Devon Mitchell. I'm looking to see what he's gonna do. Devon Mitchell and Jalen Suggs are the two that I'm looking forward to.
I will say there's 4 players that have caught my attention. First player is Kay Cunningham, obviously. I think he will be a stud in the NBA. Reason why, number 1 overall pick. Detroit, face of the franchise. Haven't had one since really Andre Drummond left. So Kay Cunningham, he's the first player I'm going to keep an eye on. Zaire Williams from the Memphis Grizzlies, understanding that they needed to go out and get a player to team up with John Morant. Perfect scenario for Memphis. I like Zaire Williams. I like his talent. I like his ability. He has an it factor in Memphis. So Zaire Williams. Then second round, I actually like AU Destanumo, who came over from Illinois, was drafted by his hometown Chicago Bulls. So I will say watch out for AO. So.
All right, interesting enough. Let's talk real quick. Let's talk a little NFL real quick. We can move on to NFL topics and news. Rocco, any news you want to talk about NFL wise?
Yes, I do. I actually want to talk about NFL. We heard recently about Minnesota Vikings possibly them possibly trying to move on from Kirk Cousins after this year. We've heard a bunch of speculation that Minnesota pretty much has 1 year left in their window to try to, be in the position they are now. So I want to ask you, A, you believe it is true that Vikings are trying to move on from Kirk Cousins at the end of the year? And second, is Minnesota's window over after this season?
Well, my rebut question to you would be, who would the Minnesota Vikings be looking to get that may be an impact player at the quarterback position right then and there? If you do let go of Kirk Cousins.
Remember, they drafted a quarterback in 2021. Kellen Mond. Kellen Mond could be a future asset with the Minnesota Vikings. Also, maybe understanding how the draft is going to work. There's going to be a bunch of quarterbacks in 2022. Desmond Ridder from Cincinnati, Malik Willis from Liberty, Strong from Nevada. So they have options at the quarterback position next year.
So you ready to start all over at quarterback, Minnesota, a team that's been trying to, get to the next level?
That's the second part of the question. Is their window going to be over after this year? Are they going to be forced to rebuild as a organization? Because Minnesota hasn't really had to rebuild since 2014, 2015. I think that was the last time they really had to, pick themselves back up again. So
it all depends on the moves. It does. It depends on the moves. I mean, they do have some solid players at each positional standpoint. Like they do have Harris. If we talking defense, they do have positional players on the defensive end. They do have some players on the offensive end as well. In position like Justin Jefferson, they do still have Dalvin Cook. They did have a tight end in Kyle Rudolph. Who did the Vikings get as a tight end this year?
they have Irv Smith. He's a younger guy.
Okay, Irv Smith is not a bad tight end. They
But
do
possible
have
Kyle Rudolph replacement though.
Don, you said they found his replacement?
No, I said, since it's got to be Kyle Rudolph's replacement now, since Kyle Rudolph's not there anymore.
Right. I don't know if with 17 games now, I don't think that this year, it's either this year or they go back to the drawing board for me. Even though they do have some good pieces at certain positional positions, I think they will have to go back to the drawing board to get it put together.
I was corrected. It was 8 years ago. Because 8 years ago, they drafted Teddy Bridgewater, brought in Mike Zimmer. So, yeah, it was 8 years ago was the last time they had to rebuild. And, hey, they've been contenders ever since. I'll give them credit. They haven't had a record worse than 7-9 since 2014. So, I'll give them props.
Right. But the North, obviously, we know the NFC North isn't as easy as people claim. I mean, Chicago comes and goes. We know Green Bay is obviously at the top of that, at the top of the poll, and then a lot of people don't even worry about Detroit. But I mean, it's a three-way. It's a three-way for the North usually. So I don't know. I mean, you got to also got to take into consideration the other teams and the other team moves. If Aaron Rodgers wouldn't have been the quarterback this year, I think Kirk Cousins is probably the veteran quarterback in the division, right? Because I mean, Jared Goff is semi newer quarterback who played his rookie years in with the Rams organization.
Right. I mean, NFC North is interesting. Jared Goff, Justin Fields, Kirk Cousins, and then Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, you got to look at that coming up. How long is Aaron Rodgers going to be in the NFC North? This could be his last year. Last year. I mean, Detroit's got Jared Goff. Chicago's got who? Quarterback from Ohio State.
Yeah, Justin Fields. Yeah. So Justin Fields is going to be the future for the next 5 years in Chicago. So, yeah.
Justin Fields. I mean, you got to take all that into consideration. I will say Minnesota probably has the best running game in the league, and outside of Green Bay, probably the best wide receiving cores in the division. Which obviously you play 6 out of your 17 games in that division. Do they have one of the better defenses? I mean, Green Bay was 9th last year. We don't know what Green Bay's defense is going to be this year. We don't know what's going to happen with Zadarius Smith. So I mean, there's a lot of things that play into that. Whether their window is going to be open or closed. I mean, Chicago has a really good defense. They just have no offense. I mean, it all depends. Okay, more questions. Rocco.
Dallas Cowboys. Are they the most overrated team in the NFL? Team in the NFL.
All right, repeat the question again, Rocco.
Dallas Cowboys. Are they overrated in 2021?
Listen, they're overrated until they prove me wrong. After 3 years of mediocrity, Marcus Betts love you to death. By the way, watch his Alphabet Bits. Yeah, they're overrated until they prove me wrong.
Yeah,
I don't care about the moves that they made as far as Micah Parsons and I don't care. Last year we thought on paper that they were going to be one of the best teams in the NFC. Dak ended up going down week 5. But before that, Dak was leading the league in yards, and they almost was 0-4. If Atlanta doesn't fumble the onside kick, Dallas would have been 0-4 at season's beginning, at the first quarter of the season. So, again, the defense was lackluster, subpar last year, and I can't ignore that. I can't ignore that they haven't put it together yet with Mike McCarthy. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. And as far as the Cowboys is concerned, they just got to prove me wrong. They're going to have to prove it to me before I can say they're not overrated or they're not a bust. So for me, yes, they're overrated again.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. They are overrated until they prove me wrong.
Eric, what's up, my brother? I see you in here. What's going on? Wait to get you on one of these shows again. All right. Rocco, did that answer your question?
Yes, it does. And I have one more question before I leave. I gotta work in the morning. So, which NFL fan base drinks the most beer out of any fan base? Like, out of all 32 teams, this NFL team drinks more beer than any other fan base. Who do you think it is?
Interesting that you say that. I think it's either it's got to be an AFC East team. And to be honest, I think it's either the Buffalo Bills or the New England Patriots, either or.
I'll say this. England, surprisingly, is third to last. So
wow.
New England actually doesn't drink that much, surprisingly.
Shocking. Shocker.
However, Buffalo is ranked 3rd on the list.
Oh, of
So,
course. Yeah.
bronze medal.
So who's number 1?
I'll tell you. Number 5, number 4, Chicago. Silver medal, 2nd place, Baltimore Ravens. And out to all my Cincinnati Bengals. Their fan base drinks on average 5 beers per game. So.
Oh, I believe it, especially when your organization sucks. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that like that, but I'm sure it's hard to watch those games without drinking. So Cincinnati's number 1. Who's number 2 again?
Baltimore, Maryland.
Baltimore 2. Number 3 is Buffalo. Number 4 is
Chicago.
Number 5.
Carolina. So, yeah, that's the top 5. There you go.
Rocco, you said number 5 was?
Carolina Panthers. Carolina.
Oh, Carolina. Oof. Okay. Wow. Well, listen, folks. Again, you can watch all of our shows. We just did a late night tonight just to get up here and talk some NBA, driving a couple topics from the NFL. Watch out for the Torches rant coming up tomorrow. Watch the Alphabet Football Talk Show tomorrow as well. In Alphabet, make sure you tune into the Sports Angle every night at 11 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you tune into my guy from the sports entertainment capital of the world in Las Vegas, Rocco Raquelli. Dalton D-Man Smith is running a Jaw U wrestling show coming up Sunday. My guy Dalton D-Man Smith will be running the wrestling show because there's a lot of wrestling to be talked about for sure. All right. So make sure you support all of the guys. Support them. Monday Night Madness is on Monday, but support. All right.
By the way, I do got a question for you, Dre, and I don't know if Rocco, you still there?